Hello, my name is Cholsoon Jang. I'm an assistant professor at Department of Biological Chemistry in School of Medicine at UCI. I came here in 2020 May. Before that, I did my PhD in Harvard University and postdoctoral fellow in Princeton University. My lab studies basically metabolism of nutrients and processing by cells and organs. Especially, we are interested in what cancer cells eat and how we can create the environment that prevents the cancer cells to survive and grow, depending on this particular nutrients or metabolites. Yes, obviously, I've studied metabolism, and cancer cells are really interesting cells because they basically rewire this metabolic pathway so that they can optimize the unregulated cell proliferation. So this is really particularly interesting to me because how cells change this complicating pathway to promote their survival and you know, unregulated. So we used chemical techniques, chemistry techniques to understand what particular nutrients the cancer cells rely on to survive and proliferate. And it's quite different from other people's research where people study mostly gene expression or protein levels, but we more focus on small chemicals called metabolites that cancer cells produce or consume. So most time I come into lab and then talk to my students and postdocs, and I really enjoy this one-on-one meeting with my student postdoc about discussion about the data and the project. And I also spend some time to meet people who are interested in my research, and I also collaborate with other people in the UCI and other institutions to basically, boost our, research project basically to synergize, right? And I also spend some time for writing my paper and grants and so on. Oh yeah, so I interviewed several places to get a job, and then one thing I wanted to come here is one reason why I wanted to come here is because the weather is obviously beautiful, right? I was training all the time East Coast, Boston and New York and Philadelphia, so I wanted to spend some time in California. And also at the time, my wife and I were in the job market together. So, we wanted to, obviously live together, study together. So, and UC Irvine is very generous to offer jobs for both of us. There are some other institutions, but, the UCI offer is the best. Oh, I see. I mean, to be honest, I guess this job as a professor or researcher is really blessing because you are really exploring unknown things, right? We are basically expanding our scope of human knowledge, and whenever my students or postdoc bring some very interesting, unexpected data that really excite me and makes me sort of addictive, and this drives me like really happy and crazy, and I want to just focus on that and just keep pushing, right? It's daily excitement. Oh yeah, so to be honest, my lab study about 50% cancer and 50% other metabolic disorders such as obesity, diabetes, because obesity, diabetes is really risk factor of cancer. If you have this obesity or diabetes, you have much more higher chance to get the cancer. So we are trying to understand the connection between these two metabolic disorders and cancer, and then we found some very interesting finding recently, like liver cells, for example, they they change their metabolism so that they can change the composition of lipid in their membrane, and then that actually prevent their cell death, and then that pathway activation can promote cancer cell growth. So we have this is unpublished, and we are excited to publish soon. Yeah. Um, this is a personal note, but my wife passed away 6 months ago with metastatic breast cancer, and it was challenging to me still today. And I think it's important to find the biomarkers that can predict or diagnose cancer why much before than the cancer progress more. So I think basically my life goal is to identify really great biomarkers to indicate whether the stage of cancer or whether it's gonna be bad or good. Like a treatment could work or not. So I think that's my life goal. Yeah, as I said, this daily excitement about seeing this new data or new knowledge is really promoting me to, continue my research. And also, I really like to, train the future scientists, students and postdocs. They are brilliant, and I want to, you know, do my, do my best to train those people. And finally, as I said, as a personal note, now I really want to focus on discovering new cancer biomarker. Yeah. I
Or just
see.
any fun facts, I know this little squirrel you have on there is kind of
Oh
cute.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I like to feed some animals, which is sometimes maybe not good for them, but I still feed some peanut to my squirrel, and then my students basically tease me all the time. That's why
Aw,
they make these interesting pictures and put everywhere,
oh,
like
that's
squirrel
aw.
toys and
Right.
squirrel.
Maybe we could just look at the little squirrels over there.
Yeah, yeah.